Hey guys, this is one of my all-time favorite fans next to the Terra and the Island fans. This is the Fasco World's Fair. It is more or less identical to a Fasco parlor fan, except it has 6 blades instead of 4. The majority of these were ornate and variable speed. There were a few that were plain and 3-speed, but I don't know if that was an actual model or just a factory anomaly. They've definitely turned up. I love these in both sizes, especially the small size, but I love them in both. The Fasco design is just so unique in the first place, and then making it 6 blades, which can take a plain fan and make it, unusual, is just, it's just quite a lot, and I love it. I remember years ago, I was probably still a kid at the time, and I was talking to a fan collector that used to be a really good friend of mine, and he was into a lot of the same fans that I was, and he loved ornate Fascos as I did, and he had bought a set of Fasco blades on eBay with the ornate badges, thinking that they were either 4 for a parlor fan or 5 for a great room, but it turned out he got a set of 6, and that's how we learned that this model existed. And we were just blown away at the concept of a 6-blade Fasco, and so of course we both set out to find them, and it took me quite a few years longer than it took him, but I finally did obtain, and I have a small one in the museum, and a couple other large ones, and a small one at 12 wings, and they're just one of my all-time favorite fans. So, they also are known to have a flywheel that breaks, and there are not replacements available for. In this case, the flywheel is broken, and I have not done anything except just install the blades on it. I'm using it with the broken flywheel, so we'll see how that goes. With the smaller ones, you can often still use it with the broken flywheel. You just have to reinforce the flywheel cover with some self-tapping screws, and I went into detail about that in the video for that fan. But this will be my first time trying a large one, which is much heavier blades and more wind resistance with the broken flywheel, so let's see how it does. I do have a spare flywheel for it, but I did not feel like going through the trouble of changing the flywheel just to do a video. So let's take a look here. Amp meter. I've got it set to low, so that we don't turn it from off to high and jerk the flywheel. So let's go ahead, turn it. Low is 0.52. That's kind of high for a low. These use Fasco motors that are K55 type, what we were formerly calling stack motors. It is buzzing a little bit, which is possibly attributed to the broken flywheel, because there are going to be some parts that are metal on metal now. Loose metal on metal, in fact. There's nothing holding it in place. So that's the low speed. I believe that's the lowest setting. We can check to be sure. Yep. And I will turn it quarter of a turn. 0.88. I will turn it another quarter of a turn. 0.89. Well, there's not much variation now. I'll turn it another quarter of a turn. 0.89. Okay, so there really wasn't a lot of variation when you turn it. Off high. High is 1.04. And you are hearing it buzz a little bit. Airflow is good, but I believe there are other 52-inch fans that are better. It's probably a motor better suited to 4 blades than 6. Yeah, the airflow is more in line with like the oh, I'm wearing a sweater, so I'm not used to gauging it with a sweater. Let me take my sweater off. It's a little colder today, but I'm like, why am I not feeling anything? Yeah, it's more in line with the airflow of like a good spinner motor fan, like when I've been testing the Hunters and things. It's probably a little bit more than like a spinner motor Hunter, but not as much as an original or a Casablanca. it definitely does go slower with the added resistance. So let's turn it off. What I can assume would happen if you kept using it with the broken flywheel without modifying it is eventually I think the flywheel cover would come off. And well, isn't there a snap ring that holds it in place too? So yeah, you're probably gonna be fine. I can't remember if the snap ring holds the flywheel cover to the shafts or if it holds... There's a snap... I know there's a snap ring in there, and I know that because I hate snap rings. But yeah, I would advise you that if you're going to be using it like this with a broken flywheel, that you remove the 2 screws that hold the flywheel cover on and replace them with one size larger self-tapping screws. And then you'll have less noise. So, okay, let's try it with the Decade box. Actually, no, we got to try it in reverse. We'll do that with the factory speeds. So, low, low, reverse. Got the reverse switch in the vent, which as you may know is my favorite place for reverse switch. There's low, reverse, 0.52 again. I'm surprised at how much that draws on low. These use a slumber quiet-like variable speed system with a potentiometer in the switch housing and a heatsink with a transistor in the motor housing. And then somewhere in the motor housing there are there's, I believe, a couple resistors and possibly a let's see if I can turn this a little bit more gradually since it was so abrupt last time. Wow, I turned it just a hair and it jumped to 0.84. So these are really a 3-speed fan. Low, medium, which is the 8.9, and high, which is the 1.04, or 0.03 in this case. They're really a 3-speed fan. That's kind of surprising. Okay. High. Trying to think. With the Casablanca system, there's 4 diodes that essentially form a rectifier. And then there's a couple of resistors. I believe there's a MOV in there, which is kind of like a surge protector. And there's the potentiometer and the transistor. It's interesting because the circuit that's in these and the slumber quiet is actually much simpler that's in the circuit that's in a cardboard box variable speed control. The cardboard boxes are noisier, but they're also much more reliable. You rarely have problems with those. If you do have problems with those, it's usually a result of something outside the fan, whereas the slumber quiet systems can fail all on their own. These Fasco ones rarely fail, though. It's the Casablanca ones, which are the best performing ones. They're silent and offer a great range of speeds, but and with the other brands you can usually just replace whatever component is bad and it will function again, whereas with the Casablanca one you are out of the luck. I'm going to reach in and reverse it. Okay. I'm trying to think, is this my first... No, this isn't the first Fasco Fasco control on the new test rig. I think the, I think we did an American Spirit on this, maybe. 1, 2 microfarads. 3. There we go, 3.15. That's much, much less than the low speed that you get from the dial, which is 0.5. And a beautiful low speed it is. 0.21. .27. I believe an actual Fasco wall control would also be 5, 10, 15. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 0.58. Oh, if we were keeping track, here's the factory low speed, 0.52, except it seems that using capacitors is more efficient because this is definitely going faster than it does at the factory low speed, but it's drawing the same current. So 11, 12, I'm starting to get cold. 13, 14, 15, 0.79, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, okay, 23 is too far. It's interesting the variations you'll see in these. I've seen some, like I said, some plain, some ornate, some 3-speed, some variable speed. Some of them will be ornate, but will have the plain canopy. Some will have a ball socket canopy. Some will have ball socket canopy covered by a ball socket bracket covered by a bell canopy. Some will have a J-hook mount. Some will have an ornate sideband, but plain blade badges. I've got one that's, I can't remember if it's polished brass with antique brass blade badges or vice versa. But there are many variations of these. Okay, solid states land. Oh, we got started earlier than I expected. 0.14 there. I'm going to start that again because I wasn't looking at the fan. I wasn't expecting it to start so soon. Like I said, so far we're still going with the broken flywheel. There's definitely chunks of rubber missing. 0.14, 0.13. .11 is where we're at right now. Okay. Eighth of a turn. 0.17. Eighth of a turn. 0.32, and I hear some buzz. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want this on solid state control. 0.56. 0.79. Buzz goes away on high, though. Okay. Well, I think that is all to show with this one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I've got another fan coming in the mail tomorrow, so I'll be filming that one tomorrow if all goes according to plan. Yeah, I got a couple more things kicking around the shop here to film, but no surprises. I need to put I was going to experiment with both the 48-inch new fan and the 36-inch tat with upping the capacitor value and doing another video of those. I've got a second Hunter Studio Series, the old 3-speed with the stepped switch housing that I haven't videoed. And the only reason I'm videoing a duplicate fan is because the first one had some repairs. So this way I can compare it and make sure that it's repaired to factory performance. And been meaning to do the round nose again when Andy's around, and do the Westinghouse again when Andy's around, but nothing new, surprising yet. Like I said, I got some more stuff coming, but it's not here yet. So, thanks for watching.